All right, next step to cranking up some power in this L2501. Got an EGT temp sensor. It's an auto meter gauge. Yes, they are expensive. And then I bought this little pod off of Amazon. Put the link in the description. Comes with the harness. Your probe does come with the bong to weld onto the muffler, which we will put right here. This is really the best place in my opinion. You can see right here, they tell you to drill and tap it, if you can, right into the very back flange of your exhaust manifold. It's an option. With that being said, the Kubota manifold pretty much ends like right here, so you'd be getting pure gas almost right out the cylinder. I like it to just be a hair to where everything can mix into one area, which would be this neck right here. So let's get this drilled and welded on just like so. 9/16 is the drill bit size you need. So punch it first, pilot hole, and then full send with your 9/16. Take your wire wheel, clean it up, and clamp it like that, cover the threads, and she is ready to weld. Okay, not my prettiest weld, but she will hold. Now we can put our sensor in here. When you screw it in, you can see pretty much where it sits, somewhere about right here. Real good flow, real good reading. So be happy with that. So now we will put this back on the tractor. But first, maybe a little paint. Here is our quick mock-up of the sensor in the exhaust. So anti-seize your bolts back in, believe me. Cast iron and steel bolts are no fun on exhaust manifolds. If you look down here, there's actually a little rubber grommet area where the wire can pass right through. And then we'll run it up the back side of the dash. Just zip tie it right up, so no drilling is even required on the tractor itself. Through your firewall. We will have to drill a hole right here, but since this is plastic, don't have to worry about a grommet, so that'll be nice. Well, if I have a grommet, I'll put one. The kit came with one, but it was a huge diameter, and I'd rather not drill like a 3/4 inch hole through the side of my dash for a wire that's about that big. So let's look at the wiring schematics and see how to wire it up. Okay, as far as wiring goes, it could not get more simple. You have to have a keyed ignition for your 12 volt, a black ground. For your light, that can be the same ground, so we'll connect black to black. And then for our light source, right into your light switch on the dash for your headlights. So we'll make this gauge come on just as if it was from the factory. Should be very nice. Also, I will say, they give you a ton of wire for your sensor, which I really appreciate that, although I'll probably cut in it about right here, maybe even shorter. That's good for a truck application or a different tractor where you actually have a fair amount of distance to run. It's good to know that auto meter gives you enough wire. All right, so we just drilled the rubber grommet in. It's a 5/8 hole. And then I put the smaller rubber grommet that I actually had on my shelf. The larger one was probably like a 1 inch diameter, and I just saw no need. Now I need to drill my 2 small holes. You can see right there, that's where the wire is going to go through our dash. For this, I am going to take some 3M double stick tape and actually create a gasket for it. I don't want this having water slightly leaking in and then slightly leaking out. And also because it's not a flush surface, you see right here, there's kind of a gap around it. I don't know, with 2 bolts, that's what it's going to do. So not a huge fan. The 3M double stick tape will create some contour and adhere it. So I think that will be our ticket. I'll do a quick pit stop for some 8/32 stainless hardware, because the pod does not come with any. Also, you can see I lined up some double stick tape, and I also put a few little relief cuts for it to breathe That way if water were to get in here, it can leak out. You don't want just to slowly fill, but we do want a nice tight fit. So let's get this mounted and then we'll pull our wires through. And that is what it looks like mounted, and I almost have it fully wired. Do a quick run through. From your sensor, you can go right through this rubber grommet down here, right up the back side of your dash. That's easy. Then for power, your small red wire, which is right here, I actually wired it into on the fused side for the panel itself. So right here you have a 10 amp panel fuse. That's what I used to actually power my gauge. Then for our light, since you have to actually go off the switch itself because the light circuit is just for all of your lights, the yellow was on for high beam and low beam, which tells me this is probably a signal wire or a power wire for your dashboard lights. So you can see right here, I just simply added a bullet connector. You always want to have your insulated side where the power is. Soldered it and put a piece of heat shrink on it, and now I'm just going to close it up and tape it up the way it was. That way when you put everything back together, it's almost like OEM. Very simple. And then to pull this pin connector out, right here, your yellow wire, all you do is put a flathead and lift up that little tab on the bottom of that brass pin connector. There's a white tab in there. Pick that up and then pull your wire out. Very easy. So let's get this all finished up and I'll show you how it works. And there you go. So you can see I actually have this gauge in the same plane, which is like 45 degrees as the control, the valve over here, this cover. It just makes it look more OEM in my opinion. Let's fire it up. See if you can see the light. Not really. These incandescent light bulbs really are not bright during the day. Rev it up. So there you go. That is how you install a EGT temp sensor on a Kubota tractor. And that's any tractor, any diesel engine. Really nice install. Pretty straightforward. If this video helped you, smash that like button. As always, guys, I appreciate it. More videos coming soon.